Hey everyone, it's Pook with Iron Infidel, and I just wanted to make a quick video, and I will try and make it quick, and talk about getting older and competing. I think that's a hugely misunderstood topic, and I think a lot of people let others make excuses for them, and they just kind of buy into it because that's what we're all told is you get older, you break down, you can't do what you did in your 20s and stuff like that. And honestly, I just want to say that's crap. That's the biggest bunch of garbage people perpetuate out there. And I'll tell you why. Me personally, here I am. Competed last in 2005, before I came back. And, hit 518 to 242, and that was okay. And, I was pretty happy with it at the time. So fast forward 7 years. Major life changes. I just had things kind of flip on top of their heads, and I decided it was time. It was time for me to get back to something I really loved and really make something of, what I want to be. After 6 months of training, I dropped from 320. I busted thyroid. I'm on medication for that. Sleep apnea, I found out I had. 6 months of training, I hit 606 pounds, almost a 100-pound PR. Yes, I was much heavier, and I actually did that at 288, I think. So my weight was down. And I'm looking at doing bench nationals in Atlanta. And when I look at the prospects of what can I accomplish and why I want to pass it on to any other older lifters out there, is that it can be done. We have so many resources at our disposal now. We've got, so much knowledge available. I mean, you can't hardly toss a stick without finding some sort of information that you can apply or at least discard as total crap, but it's out there. And it's kind of up to you to whittle it down, but there are some really good sources out there. You've got EliteFTS.com. I mean, Dave Tate and his crew over there. You got Jim Wendler. You've got Clint Darden's out there. He makes some great videos. I love Clint's stuff. DH Kiefer, with Carb Night Solution and carb backloading. There are so many resources out there that are available that you don't have the excuse of, well, I don't know how. There's no reason you can't find it. And if you can't, get your kid on the computer. I guarantee your kid can find it. Supplements available. When you look now at the supplements available to help aid in recovery, which is, one of the big things is recovery is harder because of the aging process. And that's just a fact of life. There's nothing you can do about it. But with those hormonal changes that age brings on, you can go a long way towards compensating for that by supplementing correctly and not wasting money on bullshit like NO2 supplements and garbage. If you've got a limited budget, you can really hit creatine, a multivitamin, and doggone whey protein. And that will boost up your ability to recover. You don't have an excuse there. I will be 40 in about 6 months. And it sucks. I never thought I'd see her, but I can honestly look at 40 and say, I believe I can be better at 40 than I ever was at 30. And I believe I can prove to other older lifters with injuries, and we've all got them, that you can overcome that stuff. It just takes more work. You've got to do more mobility work. You've got to take care of yourself a little bit better. You've got to be cognizant of what you're putting your body through and get enough rest. On the flip side of that, I think when you've got an impending, deadline or cutoff date, as I look at it, I say, Brad, you've got 10 years And I believe I legitimately have 10 years, up till I'm about 50, where I can really push the limits of what my body can do. When I started out lifting, no one thought I'd bench 4. No, I benched 4. No one thought I'd bench over 5. Well, then I benched over 5. Well, then I came back. I took that 7-year layoff. I came back. Man, 600 pounds, that's a lot of weight, Brad. And you're an older guy. You're 39. Do you think you really can do it? I come to the South Dakota State meet last March of 2013, and I hit 606. And I missed 622, but I've been training for competitive meets for 6 months. My training before that was fairly sporadic. No real layout to it. I'd change off and just kind of lift for fun. So it shows what you can do if you really put your mind to it. And passion can make so many things succeed when so many other people are so willing to give you excuses so your feelings don't get hurt if you fail. Here's the thing. You get into competitive lifting and you fail. Guess what? You just failed at something that 95% of the population is scared off their ass to do. They won't do it. They won't touch it. They're terrified of it. And the last thing for an older lifter, gear. I'm sorry, but bench shirts, as much as I hate wearing them, they're terrible. They're terrible to put on. They're uncomfortable to work with, but they protect my joints. And taking that strain off my joints is going to give me that extra time that I need to realize my goals and give my kids something to look to. And hopefully, I can take my kids and tell them this is what I did wrong, and here's what I would have done if I could have told 14-year-old me, how to train. And if I had one book that I could send back in time and give to me, it would be Wendler's 531. It really would. But I can't. So what you do is you make it now. And you look at, I've got X amount of years I can really push it, or X amount of time that I can compete, or this is what I'm going to devote. And that's all the time you have. You're not a young buck anymore. So all of a sudden, missing a workout is not an option. And instead of that being a liability, I think that's, one of the biggest strengths that an older athlete has, is we've got a deadline. I've only got this much time, so I can't miss. I have to do this. I have to work smarter than when I was in my mid-20s. I could go into the gym for 3 hours, lift like an idiot, and kill myself. I know not to do that anymore. I can be more productive as an older guy. I've got decades to go off of. I know where to find the information. I can supplement. I can eat right and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's it. This went longer than I had planned, but hopefully this helps any older lifters or anybody really thinking about starting to compete. Whether it's powerlifting, benching, CrossFit, doggone biking, whatever it is, find your passion and do it. Don't be the guy in the bar at 70 years old and that's all he's done. Make memories. Make stuff for your kids to be able to look back on and remember, man, my dad did this or my mom did this. You've only got so much time. Make it worth it. It doesn't do you any good to drop your dead carcass in a casket with miles left on it. Beat that crap up and live. Go Dolphins.